All right. So let me pull up the big screen here. Okay. Right. Wow. So going back to the Luke Belmar situation, yeah, I was actually reading the entire lawsuit, like writings, everything, and it's even crazier. Like there's even more details that I didn't see the first time around. I was just watching a recap before. Let's get the camera good there. And it's crazy. Like it's really crazy. That it goes through the entire path that Luke did to strip Steve Tan of all control and banking and infrastructure within the company, basically, right? Like as a bait and switch, even, and like months ago, kind of lying and ghosting with him. Like, yeah, it sounded bad. It sounded really bad before, right? It sounded really bad before. Remember, this is a lawsuit, and everything is like coming from one side here, right? This is all Steve Tan's opinion. This is all his lawsuit. Luke has just kept posting like as if nothing's happened. His tweets are still going on about everything except this. He hasn't responded. He's probably been told by lawyers to not say anything, right? I understand that. And Luke has a right to a fair trial, of course, if this goes to trial. Also, obviously, like if he feels this is really that bad, he's probably going to be a lot more likely to come to some sort of a settlement with Steve Tan. And hopefully they could end up resolving this one way or the other, where they're both at least happier. At least Steve is happier than he is now, I guess, and Luke still makes a lot of money too. They made a lot of money, so I'm sure they can both make a lot of money from this. Not like a complete business failure, right? This business made a lot of money. So just a quick little recap again. So like Steve Tan from the very beginning, founded Capital Club. He invested more than $4 million drawn from Capital Club's operating revenue, reinvested into company infrastructure. So yeah, for over $4 million coming from Steve Tan, yeah. His full name there. He's from Singapore. Yeah. So Steve Tan being a citizen of Singapore, Luke Belmar being an American, right? So they had a Wyoming company. It says defendant Lucas Emmanuel Uria Fees, his real name, right? Known as Luke Belmar. Individual residing in Puerto Rico or Florida, right? So he lives in both of those. US citizen, Singapore citizen, and his wife as well. It's crazy because his wife is named as a defendant too. Wyoming-based company, yada 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 yada. I covered some of this stuff already. Yada yada yada. Most of the main stuff was already covered in my last video. I just wanted to add to the point. Like I said, I met Luke like 3 times. I don't know him that well, obviously, at all. But just from what I've seen, what he did to me would be affiliate. That's actually the reason why I'm even making the video, to be honest. Because I've been directly impacted by his behavior, right? Even though I got to go to his events and stuff, like, I've been to his event, cool, right? But like, I would have liked to go paid when I gave him a $5,000 join to his gem hunters, right? But yeah, he just ghosted me and he never replied to me. So like, that's why I even made this video in the first place. I was wanting to say something about this, right? And now is the perfect time to say something. So I can tell my own side of the story whilst all of this is going on, and also give my kind of opinion on it. I'm obviously not going to say flat out that Luke's guilty right now. It looks bad, but again, fair trial, and we have to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Just like a court will. And this would be decided in a court in the US, or it will go to settlement. Like I said, like if Lucas immediately come to Dubai right now, where US authorities have a very hard time getting anyone at all, even billion-dollar scammers over here, like it's a bit of a problem with Dubai. Like, I don't want to speak negatively about that either, but that's been a situation. The Dubai government has kind of said before they would be more cooperative, I believe, but Luke came straight over here, so yeah. Over the next few years, Mr. Tan provided substantial mentorship and business support to defendant Luke. Free access to high-level mastermind events in Phuket, Thailand, Singapore. Singapore, that was the other time when I met him. I met Luke in Singapore at his event Token, that's right. I knew that was another time. And the nightclub in Dubai. Yeah. So that's why I was so confused. It was 3 times or 4 times, and I still can't even like count if it's 3 or 4. It's so weird. Like, but I spoke to him directly for a little bit, but I didn't, like I said, I didn't bring up the thing in person because it wasn't the right time or place, right? I was appreciative that I could go to the event, and it was just like, whatever, right? I went to the event. I didn't want to confront him there, but I did feel bad about it, I was, it's pretty lame, right? What's it? I don't want to keep going off tangent. I'm here to cover like this story, right? So let's just go for it for a few bit. Mr. Tan later came to understand many of these claims were exaggerated or false, made to create the illusion of business success and defendant Luke's own personal success. So like Luke always did a lot of media, right? He did Yahoo Finance. Well, he did more like podcast. He really likes podcasts, right? He would get on any podcast. He would tell all these perfect stories, right? He made all this money in Pancake Swap. He made all this money in Binance. He made all this money. Jupiter is like his biggest win, I believe now, right? Because he got paid directly, and that's like all legit. That's legit. He was a huge like part of Jupiter promotion, right? What's it? Yeah. So May 2022, they formally agreed to co-found Capital Club. That's the starting date, right? Yeah. Okay. And I covered a lot of this stuff already, right? $4.2 million in 3 months. They hyped it up a lot, yada, yada, yada. Luke's personal Instagram grew from approximately 41,000 followers to over 685,000 followers. And his X account expanded from 0 to over 700,000 followers, which he has today. He has over 700,000 followers today. I was looking at his like responses on Twitter. He's been tweeting all this just weird stuff. He's not addressing this at all. Of course, he's been told not to by his legal team, so it's no problem, I guess, with that. But yeah, Capital Club, Gem Hunters. Gem Hunters been going a long time. Basically, in furtherance of this scheme, defendant Luke directed Capital Club employees and course experts to sign new contracts under a Puerto Rico-based entity he controlled called CCX LLC. This is really important, right? He started a brand new Puerto Rico-based company so he could basically siphon employees, allegedly could siphon employees. I'm just reading what's being said here. Siphon employees. In less than a year, Gem Hunters Extraordinary agreed over 2,500 paying members, generating approximately 10 million in subscription revenue. That's crazy. Up to 80 to 90% of Gem Hunters members may have originated from the Capital Club ecosystem, just based on that. So it's like, defendant Luke has derived over $15 million in profits from his competing venture. That's what this lawsuit alleges. Which is, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of profit, man. And yeah, back-end access, administrative credentials all gone. Relying on defendant Luke's false assurances. This is where the fraud comes in, right? Because Mr. Tan began to execute a full-scale operational transition. He said that it was a hands-on, time-intensive transfer of company infrastructure involving deep coordination across internal systems, finance gateways, team management platforms, and back-end communication. It's wild. Between October 27 and October 29, this is 1 year ago now, today is October 28, defendant Luke intensified his demands, pressuring Mr. Tan to hand over all remaining credentials and controls. Cloaked as a necessity to finalize the restructuring, this request was in fact a final step in a calculated scheme to seize unilateral control of Capital Club. So yeah, it gets pretty deep. It gets really deep. I mean, you can read this entire lawsuit. Obviously, it would take me a long time to read everything in here. It's like a whole novel, 19 pages, in fact, a mini book, as it were, series. This bit. In March 2024, $665,760 was transferred out of Capital Club's Blue Bank account to undisclosed recipients. Of that amount, $479,000 was falsely booked as due from the owners. That was weird, right? By August 2024, the owner's capital account on Capital Club's balance sheet had ballooned to $990,000. And liabilities dropped from $1.16 million to just $434 in just 3 months. So some very unusual accounting going on, and by the time this all started to boil over, to this day, defendants Luke and Lara continue to operate Capital Club and related entities while denying Mr. Tan any access to records, communications, or financial distributions. They've used numerous bank accounts and financial platforms including Payoneer, popular in Hong Kong, Wise, Merrill Lynch, big American bank, and cryptocurrency wallets to move funds in ways that are difficult to trace. Okay, count 1, fraudulent inducement. Defendants made false representations of material facts, specifically repeated assurances that they intended to execute a formal buyout agreement. This is where it gets really bad, you see, like this is real fraud allegation here, right? Reckless disregard for their truth. Plaintiff transferred all operation systems, including Stripe accounts, backend software, 300,000 user records under the belief that the buyout would proceed in good faith. However, defendants never intended to complete the buyout. It was a false premise, false pretext, in fact, false promises. Count 2, conversion. All of allegations contained within paragraphs above or below hereby incorporated by reference as it fully sets out herein. Okay. A lot of legal speak here, of course. It was supposed to be 50 Golan's account or any 50-50 business partner. I still have to read more into this, I guess. Breach of fiduciary duty of care. All of the allegations contained within the paragraphs above and below are hereby incorporated by reference to fully set out herein. Okay. Internal audits, breach of fiduciary duty of loyalty. Yeah, I mean, it just keeps going. This is page 15 now. I just want to start to get to the end of this now. Obviously, it's pretty bad. Includes over $348,000 in personal credit card expenses paid by CCIL linked directly to defendants Luke and Lara and their assistant, including luxury travel, restaurant bills, and branded personal video content. Dude, it's just like, it's a classic. So they lost over $4 million in value and suffered reputational and economical damage. And like Steve has been asking for help on Twitter, I just thought I would make this video because I did talk to Steve Tan like 3 years ago as well, actually. I kind of saw him in real life, like briefly, but I didn't talk to him. This was respectfully submitted on the 11th day of September 2025. Okay, right. So I've read the document now. I've got my coffee. Steve Tan's been asking on Facebook on Twitter for help about this as well. So I just thought I would, make another video, break it down even more, give my own opinion and all that stuff. Like, I don't want to repeat everything from the old video, I still can leave that. I just wanted to make some corrections, I guess, like legally. I said it was an indictment, but it's actually a lawsuit, right? I'm not a legal expert. I actually only ever did like one paper of law, right, at college. It's obviously I'm not claiming to be a lawyer, not giving legal advice, and I'm just saying to Steve, but I hope he gets support and help from people close to him about this, closer than me, his friends, with him in a difficult situation. I know $4 million is a lot of money to lose, and just the feeling, imagine how he feels just to lose control and complete access and economic damage, right? But this would have caused, it's actually so bad. His reputation, he's fighting for his reputation right now back. And people have been saying all kinds of things on Twitter, back and forth. Luke's side is battling, Steve's side is battling. Everyone's trying to, look better and everything. It's a crazy situation. I was going to read some of the comments from X as well. Leave a comment, drop a reply, share your experience, post your truth. So I'm just making this video as a little bit of support, really, honestly, to Steve. And I hope that he's okay. He tells the world one version of events, then privately rewrites history. Portrayed me as someone who walked away for selfish reasons, like chasing meme coins. He claims he bought me out, but those are lies. Locked me out of systems I built, removed me from a community I helped create. Then turned around and twisted the truth to serve his own narrative. He said, I've stayed quiet for long enough. He stayed quiet for like an entire year, right? I didn't want drama, I didn't want attention. Even when I filed a lawsuit, I chose to stay silent. But when someone keeps weaponizing your silence, keeps lying to their audience, keeps hiding behind virtue while betraying those who helped them rise, that's when the silence ends. So here's what I'm asking. If you've worked with me before, if you've ever seen how I lead teams and build businesses, if you've ever witnessed how I operate and the values I stand by, both in business and in life, I truly appreciate your voice right now. This is what he said on X, this is Steve Tan's official account. The tweet originally has got 587,000 views on Twitter. So obviously that's like quite a lot, but it's not that viral yet. Like, I think this could easily get like a few million views. Once over YouTube, oh boy, once CoffeeZilla and Spencer Cornelia, everyone make a video on this. Scott Schaefer as well, all those guys, they do a lot of work about this industry. They've even made videos about Luke Belmar before too. He's always been like a shady character, right, let's say. It's crazy, man. There's a lot of big comments in here and everything. People also coming out with all this other stuff saying, all these other things that he's done and everything. Yeah, so it's crazy. And yeah, what's that? Yeah, it's really something else, So that was the I was kind of gonna pull up the other thing now, right? I was gonna pull up the X. There's so many accounts going on at once, and my laptop is like almost dead as well. Should have better prepared. I'm trying to put it on the screen because I was trying to talk here, but I've got the screen here as well. So some crazy comments. People chiming in, saying all these different things about what Luke's done. Running away without paying $180K in rent in Puerto Rico. That's like 10 years of a local person's salary in Puerto Rico, right? We have served them the legal court documents. They can run, but they cannot hide. But right now, Luke is in Dubai. So let's see. What's that? Yeah. I mean, there we go. I think I've talked enough now. That was basically everything that I wanted to cover. I had to make another video. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. What did you like about the video? What do you think about all of this? I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.